Yes, yes. Oh, our Alicia, can't wait. Can't wait to see all the things she does. Which I want to welcome Cameron and Michelle here today. Now, if most of you look around, you'll notice there aren't like a lot of young people here. I mean, not a lot of young people. And those of you, like Cameron, might be going, these people come here to die? What is this? What am I doing here? You must love this woman a lot, you know. And here's the thing that I know from my life and what my talk is going to be about is that all there is? You know, when I was growing up, you know, in ancient times, Cameron, we didn't have the internet. I had a dial phone I still remember our first phone when I was in Michigan, PA 26789. That was our phone number. It was a party line, and I could pick it up and listen to what they were talking about. So we didn't have all the internet and so forth. It was a different time. And I didn't come into this teaching until I turned 40. And it was right after, well, I'll go back. I didn't come here till I was 42. But 40, I started, is that all there is? You know, when you're growing, anyway. So 40, it was this emptiness in my soul. And I thought, there's got to be more. There has to be more. And so I went fulfilled. And so, there. So I found conversations with God. I've mentioned this many times. And I was listening to Neil, and I thought these are 4 fundamental questions of life. Who am I? And that's kind of how I was feeling. Who am I really? You know, I wasn't really asking, where am I? But we'll talk about that. Why am I here? I don't know that that was the question, but that was something stirring within me. And what am I going to do about it? What am I going to do with my life to fill this emptiness? Luckily, I didn't turn to drugs or alcohol, but I was looking for something. So, as you awaken, you will come to understand that the journey to love isn't about finding the one. The journey is about becoming the one. Because it was at that time that I told my husband I'm not happy. Wasn't anything really in particular, but I knew that this wasn't right for me. And I told him that. And he said, well, I'm happy. And I said, well, how can you be happy if I'm not happy? You know, if you're living with somebody that's really not happy, how can you be happy? And that started my journey. But that's true. As you awaken, you'll come to understand that the journey to love isn't about finding the one. The journey is about becoming the one. And that's why Cameron people are here. You know, it doesn't matter if you're an atheist or you were raised Catholic, Baptist, Judaism, Hinduism, whatever your belief is, you are the one. Each one of us here is the one. So, who am I? I am an individuation of divinity. I am an expression of God. We are all unique. We are all such beautiful expressions, and we don't recognize the power that we possess as that. God isn't the source. We are the source of everything in our life. So, where am I? I'm in the realm of the relative where I can truly experience and express myself. Because what Neil teaches and what I believe too, and I believe Ernest maybe didn't say it this way, Ernest Holmes, who is where our teaching came from. Those of you that maybe grew up in Science of Mind or been in it or in Unity, you kind of understand this. But I am so each one of us here chose to come in our physical form. So we could express hot, cold, up, down. Because in the other side, we are the everything. Everything is just peaceful. We understand that we go with the flow of the energy, and there's no contrast. We have contrast here. And in that contrast, in each moment, we get to choose who we are, how we're going to experience this. I used to tease that about Big Laura's lining up things, thinking it was a joke, but it was true. There is that aspect of me, which is my subconscious, that I'm connected to and lines things up in the universe for me. So really, I'm everywhere. And why am I here? I choose to be in the realm of the relative so I can truly express myself. Okay, so if you're just sitting there always, mom, that's wonderful. But how do you know how to appreciate that if you don't have the opposite? We all came here to experience love, to experience that touch of being. I don't know about you, but I'll cry. When I hug my children, even to this day, even more so, I hold them in their hearts next to mine. That to me is the most beautiful thing. I don't take that for granted. Because even when we're on the other side and we feel that love, we can't touch it. We can't feel it. Even when we get ticked off, there's something about that, too, that we don't get to experience on the other side. We don't experience that. So why am I here? We are each here to experience love. That is what we came here for. That is why I am here. And what am I going to do about it? So that's the thing. You come here, and what are you going to do about it? What are you going to do with this experience? You are this divine source. Okay? You are this divine source. And, I don't know about you, but right now in the world, there seems to be all this division of different perspectives and so forth. Like I said, Cameron, we didn't have the internet. We only had the news like at 6, maybe 9, and then 11, and that was it. Half hour, it's over. You just got the highlights, and that was it. Now, we have our internet. We have TikTok. We've got Facebook. We've got Twitter. All the ones, I don't know any of them because I don't go on them other than Facebook. And we have all this where people are expressing their beliefs and their feelings. And we never did that. I remember growing up, and I'm sure many of you do, you don't talk about sex, drugs, politics, or, you just don't, there are just certain things you don't talk about. And so now we talk about everything. We see everything. We do everything. And if we really remember who we are, everybody does something. Whatever they're doing, it's from a place of love. Now, you might find that difficult to believe with shootings going on in schools and some of the laws that are being passed that take away some people's rights. But what we need to remember in those moments, because trust me, I get caught up in it too, and I have to remember that the laws that are being passed, or they feel that they have to pass, for instance, to take a woman's right away for abortion. I'm not trying to get political, I'm just picking one. And the thing is those people that are doing that, it's from a place of love, a love in what they believe. And they believe that everybody should believe the way they believe, and that it's a sin if you don't believe and react the way they did, and it's not, I'm not saying that if we understand that, it helps us to integrate ourselves with certain people that know that they have this deep belief about something that maybe we don't agree with. Because of all the media we have, it's not that live and let live anymore. And and the internet, I'm not saying the internet's been a bad thing, but there are ways of people who thought they were afraid to speak their opinions because they knew they were maybe in a minority or whatever. But so what am I going to do about it? So that's the question today. What are you doing with your life? You are, we talk about God being the source, but each and every one of us is the source. The more that, when you talk to your subconscious mind, because the conscious mind, you'll see things, you'll want things or whatever. The subconscious mind is listening to those things. That is where your power lies. That is where your connection with the universe is in when you declare and know and live from that place of, this is who I am. This is who I am, who I want to be. And it's amazing if you're asking that question, how the universe, things happen and you go, oh, and you don't even realize that you're the one that called it in. I don't know if you remember when Reverend Charles when we were candidating before Reverend Charles came, and we knew Dr. Joe was retiring, and everybody said, well, Dr. Laura, you should just take over. And I go, it's not what I want to do. I said, remember? I said, I love this side of the wall. I love everybody and being here. It's that side of the wall I'm not too crazy about, right? And so, but obviously the universe said, what I say is the universe will spiritually bitch slap you. Has that happened in your life? Where the universe has spiritually bitch slapped you? It didn't feel spiritual at the time. Okay, until you go and then you can look back and go, oh my God, but for that, I wouldn't be here. And I know all of us are here because, that's why we have changing lives one heart at a time. Because that's what we're here to do. Not just in these walls, but out there. We're here to love people, even if they have different beliefs. Know that they're acting and behaving in a way that you might not agree with. Let's even just take politics. What they all do, what anybody does, is they're all doing it is there's something they love. And they want to hold on to it. Could be power, could be money, it could be control, but they love it. Everybody is coming from a place of love for themselves, maybe, or other people. I remember, just know you're the source. Neil talks about a retreat he had, and he had a young man sitting in the front row, all taggart and stuff, and he came up to Neil after and he said, I want to thank you for, letting me have this opportunity to come to your workshop. I don't have a job, I don't have any money, and, my life is a mess. And Neil said, well, let me ask you, how much money do you have on you right now? And he reached in his pocket, he said, I have 30 cents, I have 3 dimes, it's all the money I have. And Neil said, before you leave here, I want you to give it away. I want you to, and he goes, what? He said, I want you to give it away. Because the more you give, the universe gives back to you. But when you hoard it because you go, I don't have enough. God, I can't give this because I don't have enough. Then the universe says, oh, that's what you want, okay. And it keeps things from flowing. So the more love you give, the more you help. I remember Ryan and we went to In-N-Out Burger in La Quinta when that was the only one that was nearby. And we went there and had a hamburger and stuff. And as we were leaving, we went into Aldi. And there was this woman out there with her little child asking for money. And I reached in and I gave $20. I put it, and Ryan goes, Mom, what do you do that? Why? And I said, there but the grace of God go I. And that's true. I don't do that all the time, but sometimes if something tugs at my heart, that spirit saying, do that. help this person out. Because one time I was coming out of Albertsons, and I didn't have any cash, and there was a older lady there, thin, sitting, and she goes, "Could you please help me and give me some money?" And I didn't have any cash. I said, "Gosh, I'm sorry, but I just bought this chicken, the roasted chicken, and here." And she looked at me and she said, "What am I going to do with this?" And I go, "Eat it?" And and I go, "All right, never mind." And I took it back. Oh, because when we were at Aldi's, Ryan said, "She's probably just going to buy drugs or alcohol or something." And I go, "I don't think so, And I didn't feel that. But this lady, she wanted it, and I still guess I could have given it to her and she could have maybe sold it and gotten some money. I didn't, but I just thought, okay, I tried. And so, but that's not my place. That's not what she was looking for. And I was not feeling to be her source for anything else. And plus I didn't have the cash. I guess I could have reached in and gotten 3 dimes, I guess, and given it to her. But anyway, Neil, back to that original story. So Neil, like a year later or so, there was this young man sitting in the front row. God, he looks familiar. He had a cashmere sweater on, a great haircut, da-da-da-da. And he came up to Neil after and he goes, "Do you remember me?" Neil goes, "Well, not really." And he reiterated the story. And he said, "I did what you said, Neil. I was a source. I started giving and I started doing things for other people. And my life changed. And now I've got this business and I'm doing blah, And he was very successful. So remember, we think of God as the source. Each one of us here is the source. We are the source. We can be the source for somebody to do something. And that's what we do. And so, Cameron, people aren't here. They're here because they're here to learn who they are and the power that they have. And you may already know that, and there's many of us. I'm still learning, and I think this is an ongoing thing, because trust me, I get pissy too. I have my moments and think, what a friggin' idiot that person is. Did you hear what they just said? Or blah, blah, blah. I'm not up here to say, I'm so perfect. I am perfect. I'm perfect for where I am right now, but I can always experience more. And so, like I said, there are no accidents in the universe. There's no accidents that you are in this world at the right time. Have you ever noticed, and nature knows that, you ever notice those palm trees out there aren't yelling at the bushes or the other plants and say, "You know what, you don't belong in the desert. What are you doing here? You need to be a palm tree like me, swaying in the wind." No, nature lets nature be. If animals kill, it's because they're killing for their family, their tribe, or whatever. I remember when I was with Neil one time, and a fly or a gnat flew by, and he hit it. And he goes, "Choose again." So we're all going to get to choose again if we choose to. And we might choose to go to some other galaxy next time. We chose to come here, and we probably had our posse and said, "Okay, let's go back. I'm going to meet you again, and we're going to do blah, blah, blah." And it was all a game. This is a game. So take it serious, but don't take it too serious. Be that joy wherever you are. Be that love. And my son Ryan will tell you, I'm not always loving. I can be moody. That's not the word we use at home, Ryan. But but you know what I mean? So here's the thing. What am I going to do about it? We're going to all be the source. We are the source. We are these divine beings. And you know what? And there are divine beings at the Lutheran Church. There are divine beings out that don't go to church. And there are divine beings in Albertsons and everywhere we go. Everyone is a divine being having their own experience of life. And so I want to end with this. This was on Facebook. And this was Dennis Merritt Jones. I love this. With self-awareness, everything we do is a sacred act. Reverence is not a practice for only special occasions. It is a way of life. So live your life. Oh, what a gift this. When you hug somebody, feel that heart next to yours. You know, that's why when I hug my boys or my granddaughters or whatever, it's like I feel that because I don't know if this will be the last time I ever see them, I get to hug them. Because on the other side of the veil, when I continue on, I know I'll still be with them, but I probably won't have that same sense of hugging them and touching them that I do here. And so be grateful for your life. Look at it and be the source. Don't say, oh, I want to experience. Say, I am this. I am prosperity. I am divine, perfect health. I am love. And go out there and be that source for others. Namaste. Woo!